Donald Trump continues to panic as his disastrous and unlawful war in Iran spirals out of control. He is now sending the elite paratrooper group from the United States 82nd Airborne Division, U.S. Army, to Iran right now as things escalate. We saw the U.S. and Israel strike energy facilities in Iran last night, which we reported about. Iran then hit energy facilities in Kuwait, and also used cluster munitions in Tel Aviv that actually struck a lot of areas in the center of Tel Aviv. These Iranian ballistic missiles and cluster munitions are having a much higher penetration rate right now as well. The new Iran strategy seems to be utilizing less ballistic missiles. Now you can say it's because a lot of the ballistic missile launchers have been hit by the US, but they seem to be now striking with more penetration rate, with a higher penetration rate and more devastating results with the targets that they are striking. Let's just talk about what's happening with the 82nd Airborne Division. So, the commanding general of the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division, Major General Brandon Tegmeyer, and his command element members of his headquarters staff have been ordered by the Pentagon deployed to the Middle East as several thousand paratroopers with the 82nd Airborne Division's Immediate Response Force prepare to deploy to the region for possible ground operations against Iran. This also follows the Marine Expeditionary Units aboard the USS Tripoli on their way to arrive in the Middle East by Friday. The USS Boxer, arriving via San Diego in the next few weeks, and other Marine Expeditionary units heading that way as well. So, we are amassing a large ground force for a ground evasion with paratroopers of Kar Island of the coast of Iran. Meanwhile, Iran continues to mock Donald Trump. The Iranian embassy within South Africa that posted yesterday the photo of a car that had the baby steering wheel next to the actual steering wheel, and it said, "Hey, Donald, you and the Ayatollah can control the Strait of Hormuz together. You can steer it together." Here is what Iran is posting. Good and productive talks with Iran. And they're mocking Donald Trump having fake conversations with Iran in order to end the war that Iran is denying that's happening. And so it says, messages from Trump to himself. "Hey Ayatollah, let's talk about the Strait for sure. Oh, that's good to hear. I will cease the tax for 5 days. Thanks for your attention to this matter." And then they referred to Donald Trump above as President of PSU, having conversations with himself. That same account also reposted the Iranian ambassador as saying the US has achieved none of its overt or covert objectives against Iran. Iran's envoy to South Africa, Mansour Shakib Mayer, writes, "US in downfall among own allies who know that the Iran war was unnecessary, unwise, and irrational." And this also comes as Israeli officials are telling CNN and their local media as well that any deal with Iran is, quote, "not tangible right now." As military strikes continue in Iran and Lebanon, Israel is just obliterating southern Lebanon and Beirut. The suburbs are just being absolutely gutted. Just Hezbollah, but innocent people having their being killed and hospitals being destroyed and devastation taking place in southern Lebanon right now. The official from Israel noted that Iran is not showing any willingness to make concessions and suggested ongoing talks may be a delay tactic. Now, Iran is basically saying, unless we have full reparations, unless the US gives us security guarantees that they won't attack us again, unless they remove their bases from the Middle East, and unless they let us control these Strait of Her, we're not going to reach a resolution, and we get to keep our ballistic missiles. So that's their position. And Trump is pretending that the US has totally obliterated all of the leadership of Iran, and that there's no one to even talk to. Yet he claims he's talking to people in Iran. But meanwhile, you see what's happening as Trump and Netanyahu are killing these Iranians at the Islamic Republic. They're just being placed by more extreme versions of the people who held the prior position. I'll give you an example. Ali Laranjani, the National Security Council secretary, basically the head of the National Security Council there. He was killed by Trump and Netanyahu, and he just got replaced earlier today by Mohammad Bagar Zolgadar, who we were telling you was likely going to be the replacement. He's far more extreme than Laranjani. He's been an insider in the Islamic Republic for a long time. Much more difficult to negotiate with him than Laranjani. And that's why if you look what's happening in the Arab world, Arab mediators are saying, we're very skeptical that the US and Iran could quickly reach any agreement. The two sides are further apart now because Iran feels that it now controls the Strait of Hormuz, that it's in control, that the sanctions against its oil have been lifted. They're achieving more than they achieved before Trump launched this disastrous war. And then the United States is run by a demented psychopath in Donald Trump, who thinks that we've obliterated Iran and that they've been blown off the map, when that's not what's happened. Now take a look at what's happening in the bond markets, particularly the 10 and 20-year yield and treasury notes showing significant instability. As the Kobasi letter explains, absolutely incredible. The US 20-year note yield is now back to 5% less than 24 hours after Trump said that peace talks were underway, and then that decreased the yield. Increased treasury note yields mean instability. That's a bad thing when they go up like that, because that creates mortgage rates at 7%. $4 gas becomes a reality. Bond markets are saying that this war is unsustainable. So what's the Trump regime doing right now? How are they trying to communicate to the American people? Well, they had Melania Trump give a speech today, talking about how the room is filled with extraordinary human capital. She refers to human beings as human capital, right? Didn't she also say as a last week or 2 weeks ago as a visionary? She called herself a visionary. But here's what she said today. Play this clip. This room is filled with extraordinary human capital. Leaders, harness it to elevate your children. Then you have MAGA Republican from Iowa, Senator Joni Ernst, saying regarding Operation Epstein Fury, or Epic Fury, that the first strike from Iran killed a lot of her, constituents. But she goes, it was all worth it. It's all worth it for America. That her constituents died in this war that nobody understands why we're even there. Here, play this clip. What are your thoughts on the status of this war today? Yes, absolutely. This is a noble mission, Maria. Thank you so much. And Iowa has lost significantly in this conflict. That first strike coming from Iran did kill a number of our Iowa soldiers, and those assigned to a unit located in Des Moines, Iowa. So, we are feeling the pain, but the reassurance is there that this action will make the United States that much safer. We will be able to protect our people as they travel abroad from the threat of those Iranian terrorist proxies, as well as our citizens here in the homeland. So again, it is a noble mission. I do hope that President Trump completes this mission, and we will end up with a more stable and peaceful and prosperous Middle East. Well, in order to, and then you have MAGA Republican Rick Scott trying to message, well, they want to kill us, so we have to kill them first. That's why we're there. They want us dead, so we kill them. Here, play this clip. Then shut down the horde of Strait of Hormuz is horrible. I think more countries are going to show up to try to open up the Strait of Hormuz. But I think we're going to continue have to eliminate their ability to do this. And if we don't, all right, we're going to be doing this every few years. I mean, they want to kill us. I mean, we have to grow up. I mean, we have enemies, people who want to destroy our way of life. So if we don't destroy theirs first, they're going to kill them more. Kill more Americans. They've been killing us for 47 years. Then Donald Trump puts out his NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman. He does media appearances talking about, we're building bases on the moon and we're building moon cities. Like, now stop with the moon cities, okay? Stop with all this crap. Stop spending $200 billion more on this war or moon cities, dude. Just give the American people healthcare and basic human rights. Help people afford homes. Help people get paid with dignity for their jobs. Let's focus on keeping it simple and basic and focusing on America, please, versus moon bases or whatever the hell you're talking about. Let's play this clip off. But this time when we go back to stay. We're going to build President Trump's moon base. We're going to make investments in the next giant leap capability. So today we're going to talk about a first-of-its-kind interplanetary spaceship nuclear-powered to deliver a very exciting scientific payload to Mars. We're going to talk about the orbital economy in lower Earth orbit. We're going to talk about more exciting missions of science and discovery. Now, finally this morning, Democratic Senator Van Holland was cross-examining Undersecretary of State Dano and making him squirm, as Rupar puts it, in response to a series of questions about his involvement in the transfer of U.S. bombs to the Netanyahu government. Let's play this clip. Cat policy. So now I'm asking you whether you were involved in reviewing the transfer of 20,000 bombs to the Netanyahu government with respect to compliance with the cat policy. Any foreign military sale that we do would fall underneath the conventional arms transfer. Did you personally review that assessment? Again, Senator, the emergency declaration. No, not the emergency declaration. Did you review the assessment regarding whether or not that transfer of 20,000 bombs complied with the cat policy? Everything that we do complies with the law. Did you personally, or were you personally involved in that review? I was involved with the transfer, and anything that we would do would be consistent with our CAT policy, which is compliant with the law. So I'm going to take it as a no that you did not personally review whether or not that transfer complied with CAT policy. Did you personally review that? You can take it anywhere you want. Well, did you? I've already told you I was involved with the policy. I oversee the Political Military Bureau. Okay. Did you personally review? I reviewed hundreds of arms sales. I signed hundreds of them. The emergency declaration, again, it was consistent with the law. And most importantly, I think it's important for the committee that we lay out. We're not trying to establish a new norm. There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And make sure you subscribe to Scott McFarlane's YouTube channel right now. They're on their way to 100,000 subscribers. Search at Scott McFarlane News on YouTube. Let's get that channel 100,000 subscribers today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.